So starting off with the main deck here, we have a 46 cards because I feel that is the best way to sort of cram everything into the deck. I did try 40. I'm preferring the 46 card variant. So triple Alistair, the Invoker, triple of our boy, triple of the heart and soul of the deck. On normal summon or flip, don't forget the flip, he's going to be able to grab you a invocation from your deck to your hand, invocation being the fusion spell of the archetype, and then on a quick effect you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, target a fusion monster you control, and it gains 1000 attack and defense until the end of the turn, crucial in damage step shenanigans. To search our beautiful Alistair, we have triple of the Magical Meltdown. It's a very simple card, its first effect. When it's activated, it adds you Alistair the Invoker from your deck to your hand. So Meltdown gets you Alistair, Alistair gets you Invocation. It also has a passive effect that the activation of your cards and effects that include the effect to fusion summon cannot be negated, so they cannot Solemn Judgment an invocation, they cannot Ghost Spell an invocation, because those negate activations. They cannot Judgment a branded fusion either, because again that would negate the activation. Also, your opponent's cards and effects cannot activate when a monster is fusion summoned this way, so on summon you can do your branded fusion monster effects and your opponent cannot respond to them, which is pretty nice. On summon you do Mirror Jade effect and they can't respond, which is pretty insane. For the invocations, we play just the one invocation. You can play two. You don't really want to open this card without Alistair. Some situations you open this without Alistair and you have branded fusion, you can kickstart your invoked engine regardless, but usually you just want to get it from the deck. And then of course the one terraforming, because terraforming is your other copy of Meltdown, which is another copy of Alistair. So that is the Alistair part of the deck. It is 8 cards. Now let's move on to the supporting engines. For the branded stuff, we have triple of the branded Lubellion, very beautiful quarter century res. And this card serves quite a few purposes in this deck. First of all, it is a light target, which means you can use this to fusion into your Invoked Macabre. It pitches itself from the hand to the graveyard in order to grab a different Bystial from your deck to your hand, which is useful because it allows you with Alistair and the Lubellion to get 2 bodies on board to do your link plays, and then you can commit to the fusion summon, which is really nice. Also has an effect that you contribute a level 6 or higher Dragon Dark monster on the field, and it can just special summon itself, and then on the field it has the effect where it can place a branded continuous spell or trap from the deck face up to the field. So it does quite a lot of things. It's a very good card, and I play 3 of it. For the Bystial targets that we have of Lubellion, we have the 1 Bystial Magnamut, as this card is only at 1. We have the 1 Bystial Druisworm and the 1 Bystial Soronir. So the Bystial share the effect that they are all DD Crows, acting as 3 hand traps. They are quick effects if only your opponent controls a monster, but most of the time they will. So essentially 3 DD Crows that summon themselves to the field with 2,500 attack, which is pretty nice. And then they have different effects based on which one you've summoned. So Magnamut is going to be able to grab you a dragon monster from the deck or graveyard back to your hand on the end phase. Druisworm, when sent to the graveyard, is going to target and send 1 special summon monster that your opponent controls to the graveyard. And Soronir, when it's sent to the graveyard by any means, even from the deck, it's going to be able to Foolish Burial a Bystial or branded spell or trap from your deck to the graveyard. So pretty nice. And they're also level 6s, which allows for cool shenanigans with a Chaos Angel, but we're not playing Chaos Angel in this build. So now for the hand traps, we have triple of the Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is just a very good card. Hits a lot of important, impactful cards. Hits the new Fiendsmith cards. Hits the Whitewood cards. Hits Runic Fountain. Hits Branded Fusion. Hits a lot of things. We have triple of the Effect Veiler. Again, not once per turn. Interruption is key this format. I feel like you need to open 2 hand traps, and if you open 2 Veilers, you can use both, which is nice. Only during the opponent's main phase, which is sad, and of course isn't as good as Infinite Impermanence, but we are already playing that. We have triple of the Nibiru. Nibiru is arguably the strongest hand trap when paired with another. So if we have a Imperma Veiler, the negate of the Nibiru, and the Nibiru will go through and it will wipe your opponent's entire board and win you the game on the spot. It's also a light, which helps, along with Veiler, helps to fusion into your Macabres, and Ash is a fire, which helps into your Purgy Trios. We have triple of the Infinite Impermanence, so 12 hand traps in a 46 card deck. I think it means around 82% chance of opening 1 in your starting hand, which isn't too bad. And Infinite Impermanence is the only of these hand traps that's very good on the draw as a 6th card as well, because you can immediately use it. Imperm also does not activate the likes of Thrust or Talents too. For the Branded Fusion part, we have triple of the, of course, Branded Fusion. We want to see this card pretty much every time. Locks you into Fusion Summons, so just be careful. Invoked is a deck that can abuse the Link Summoning mechanic as well, as you'll see in the extra deck, but if you're locked into Fusions, it's not the end of the world at all. Obviously, uses the materials from deck. You do need to play a brick in the Albaz. One of the Branded Regained. This serves as our target from the Bystial Rebellion to play straight to the field. It's an insane card. If a light or dark monster is banished, yours or your opponents who target them, place them at the bottom of the deck, draw a card. This, with your Invoked Macabre, sort of mitigates the discard or the send from hand that you have to do to negate something with Macabre, because if you negate a light or dark monster, you can draw a card immediately. Also, your opponent summons any monster to the field, or you have a branded or a Bystial monster in the graveyard, you can just summon it back, which is great. For the quote-unquote bricks, we have one Fallen of Albaz, which is the engine requirement for the Branded Fusion, and two Thunder Dragon cards in Thunder Dragon Dark and Thunder Dragon Hawk. Why are we playing these cards? Well, Thunder Dragon Dark, when banished, can search your Hawk. Hawk can pitch itself to reborn your Dragon Dark from the banished pile, and then you contribute your Dark to make a Colossus. So allows for a really, really nice Colossus package, and Colossus answers a lot of decks this format. It's a Drone and Lockbird, and I think Drone and Lockbird is going to be insane in this format. Fallen of Albaz, okay, never want to draw it, but if you do, you can normal it and essentially force your opponent to interact with it, or you're going to eat their board in a Fusion Summon. For just a 2 of I play here, double Fenrir, important in this deck. I'm not playing 3 because we're already at 46 cards. You want to see Fenrir because it just gives you an extra card in hand to discard. You do discard a fair amount of cards in this combo from your branded plays, so you want to be careful with that. And Fenrir just allows you to do it for free. It's also just an insane boss monster you can just special summon before you commit to anything, which is really, really nice. For the Dogmatika package, we have the one Dogmatika Ecclesia. Absolutely amazing. You only need one because Nadir's Servant can grab from the deck or graveyard, so only ever really need the one copy nowadays, save on deck count. If it's special summoned, you can, or just summoned in general, you can add a Dogmatika card from your deck to your hand, which is amazing, and it locks you from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. Not the whole turn, just the rest, so you can do this at the end of your combos, and then you can get extra advantage that way. We have the one Dogmatika Fleur-de-Lis. This is your negate, as long as there's a Dogmatika monster in the field and an extra deck monster in the field, you can special summon it and negate in the same chain on a quick effect. Amazing. Really, really good. We have triple of the Nadir Servant. Absolutely insane card. Basically a engage in a way for your Invoke deck, because you can dump your Garura, draw a card, and add your Ecclesia as well. Yes, you are locked from the extra deck, but again, you do this at the end of your main combos, and absolutely insane. We have the one Dogmatika Punishment. I like playing this card. You can cut it if you want to go down to 45. I think this card is very good to add off your Ecclesia, and then on the end phase with your Ash Dragon, you add your Fleur-de-Lis instead. Allows you to grab an extra add off your Dogmatika package. For board breakers, I just played 3 Forbidden Droplet because it synergizes very well with this deck. We play a lot of spells, we can activate them, and before they go to the graveyard naturally, we're going to chain Forbidden Droplets, send them to the grave, and get extra negates out of our impactful spell cards. And for the last 2 cards, I played only double Pot of Prosperity. Why not 3? Well, we're at 46, and the math shows that, you know, bumping up to 47 to play a 3rd Prosperity doesn't really make that much of a difference. So why are we going to play the 3rd? We just play 2, keep it at 46, and, you know, reduce the chances of revealing Pot of Prosperity or drawing multiple Prosperities in that regard. So that is the main deck. Let's now move on to the extra deck. Moving on to the extra deck, it is of course 15 cards. Start off with our link package. We have the Accesscode Talker, amazing for finishing games and just winning games that you shouldn't do is what Accesscode Talker does. We have one Selene, as we do play a couple spellcaster targets in Alistair the Invoker. And we also have the Effect Veilers, so easy reborn with a Selene straight into an Accesscode Talker. We play the one SP Little Knight, amazing card. We can easily go into a link and then go into the SP in this deck, so why not play it? One way of doing that is with our the Dark Charmer Gloomy. I still think this card is good, especially if you make it using a Druid Swarm, send something, hopefully a Dark monster, and then reborn it with the Dark itself, go into an SP or a Selene play. And then we have the one Artemis, the Magistus Moon Maiden, serving as a 1-card combo with Alistair to get into a Macabre. Also helps to go into your SP plays. For the Invoked fusions, we only play 2, 1 Macabre and 1 Agoides. I think Agoides is better than Macabre, but you make Macabre going first, and usually you make the Agoides going second, or in a deck that really needs a monster in the field, you can just pop it with your Agoides. For the Thunder Dragon monster, we play the best one, of course, the 1 Thunder Dragon Colossus in beautiful Ultimate Rare, the Drolan Lockbird on legs. So I think people have overestimated how good this card is when it came off the ban list. It is an incredible card, but I think people thought it was going to be meta defining. It is not. We live in a day and age now where we have lots of spot negation like Imperm, Droplets, Ruler, which we didn't have access to back in the day. We play 1 Predaplant Draco's Depalia. This is for your branded fusion combo. If you haven't seen my combo guide, make sure you look at it. 1 branded fusion and a discard equals a Draco's Depalia and a Thunder Dragon Colossus, which is amazing. We play 1 Garura, Wings of the Resonant Life, because this is a free draw as soon as it touches the graveyard. We play 1 Elder Entity ntss to pair with this. So this, with your Dogmatika engine, lets you send cards from the extra deck to the graveyard, pop a card, draw a card. Amazing value. And now, moving on to the branded part, we have the 1 Mirror Jade, the Icebait Dragon, for a quick effect, banish, while sending cards from your extra deck to the graveyard, Dimension Fallen of Albaz, so allows you to get extra value. We have the 1 Albion, we have the 1 Lubellion. These are how we're going to be getting into our either Mirror Jade or Draco's Depalia. And then, of course, the 1 Titaniclad, the Ash Dragon, which sort of synergizes very well, brings the branded stuff and the Dogmatika stuff perfectly together, because when this is in the extra deck and sent to the graveyard, during the end phase, you can summon or add your Dogmatika cards from your deck to your hand, which is beautiful, because Mirror Jade will send for cost to the graveyard, banish something, and then during the end of your opponent's turn, you're going to be able to kickstart your Dogmatika engine just like that. Now going on to the side deck, which I almost forgot completely. We got triple of the Droll and Lockbird. This is for matchups where the Nibiru isn't great. So maybe like a matchup like Flunderies, we can put in the Droll, or Dark Worlds, we can put in the Droll and Lockbird instead. We have the triple of the Dark Ruler No More, which are another board breaker. We have double of the Lightning Storm, beautiful Starlight Rare, recently picked up. I think by the time this video comes out, my UK haul video should be out. So if you want to see how I got these Lightning Storms and Starlight Rare, make sure you do check out that video. We have double of the triple Tactics Thrust, which allows us to grab all of our power spells, Lightning Storms, Terraformings, Dark Ruler No Mores, Pot of Prosperities, you name it. Duster is one of these targets, so our spell and trap removal is pretty good in a Duster and 2 Lightning Storms. We play 1 Change of Heart, because again, amazing power spell to take opponents' Appaloozas and hopefully break their board that way. Same reasoning for the triple Tactics Talent, just a bit more versatile than the Change of Heart. And for going first, we have the Destructed Ruma Karma Cannon, which we can set off our thrust, respecting the Tempai matchup. And then we have the Black Goat Laughs, as well as an amazing target of thrust, being able to just stop the summon of a monster, and then in the graveyard negate a monster's effects as well. So getting 2 for 1, amazing value there. So that is the end of this deck profile. Make sure if you enjoyed that you leave a like and comment down below. I do try and innovate Invoked as much as I can based on my last profile. I try not to make it too repetitive either. If you guys have any insane builds of Invoked, please do leave it in the comments down below and let me know. Is Alistair the Invoker the GOAT? Can he compete this format? I think it's in Rage of Abyss. There's a new fusion monster coming out, which I believe changes a lot of the build that you're going to see here. I believe it's a Spellcaster level 2 or something like that as a tuner, and it can come out by getting rid of a Spellcaster monster you control and one of your opponent's cards. So absolutely insane boost to the deck that's going to be. But until then, I think this is the best build you could probably play. There are substitutions. If you don't want to play the Colossus, you can play the Winder package. That is still perfectly fine. You can have the summon, special summon restriction, or just the add from the deck restriction. Really your choice to make. So I'm Rogue to here, and I'll see you all in the next video.
It's time! Let's go!